Hi, my name is Juliet Dupre, and I'm very happy to share today on my paper, The Importance and Development of Humanistic and Long-Term Mindset in Business Leaders. So a little about me first. I am a VP of People and Culture at Simul Media and Player One in New York City, and graduated from the Master of Science in Organizational Change Management program under the Milano School of Policy Management and Environment at the New School in May of 2020. So as far as the topic here, it really is about how and why to develop long-term mindset in business leaders. And a couple of notes on that. Sustainability has never been so crucial to our future as a nation, for our planet, and for our survival as people. Capitalism and neoclassical approaches have levied a heavy toll on ecologies and people historically. And these structures and people involved in them have significantly lost a great deal when short-term strategies have been the approach and priority. And I think in a VUCA world, meaning a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, we stand to lose more now than ever. Additionally, developing the long-term mindset for strategizing towards sustainability is dependent on a certain measure of empathy towards others in the environment, in the world around us, other beings, other inhabitants of our planet, whether that's plants, animals, or other people of other countries. And development of that type of emotional social intelligence, which we abbreviate ESI, and the ability to strategize for sustainability as far as a business skill are increased through mindfulness practices such as meditation, which is part of the discovery of this paper in the literature review. So speaking of methodology, again, it was a literature review going into previous research and data collection on the topics of leadership, the impact of the economic structure of capitalism and emerging capitalism on the United States in particular is the focus. Synthesizing and comparing all that evidence, provided a historical review and then integrated that data and research into a proposed theoretical framework. So some of the findings were that capitalist incentives were fairly directly responsible for the genocide of Native Americans and for African enslavement, torture, and slaughter, via slavery, which we know is the world's largest forced migration. These incentives, not least of which includes, plainly profit, have continued to prove very detrimental, as history has shown, to the well-being of ecologies and labor, i.e. natural and human resources, when there's no check or balance to rein in those incentives for short-term gain. So how to balance that with something that guides us towards long-term sustainability? One piece of that puzzle is simply the mindset of the leaders themselves, the capitalist leadership teams, business leaders. And a business leader's mindset, some of the findings here are that that mindset can be shifted positively and developed and evolved through mindfulness techniques such as meditation, which can increase empathy and shift the actual thought process from systems 1 to systems 2, using a reference here to Kahneman, which is going to play a big part in this paper, and increasing strategic creativity and openness to ideas, including from other people around the business leader, versus them being so laser focused on just their own ideas. And that can really open things up. So we have here a framework that sort of guides towards the ultimate hoped for outcome of sustainable leadership and ethical profit making. Starting from a point where the leader may be in a very simplistic, almost one could say, systems one type of thinking, where ecological and human exploitation is just not necessarily a concern, to recognizing and becoming open-minded to new solutions, seeing the impacts from VUCA, becoming more self-aware, and broadening towards frames of reference that are more inclusive, and moving forward towards all these different stages. So ultimately, creating new realities and finding ways to support ethical profit making would be the evolution goal, so to speak. So conclusions here are that leaders seeking to evolve towards ethical, sustainable, and values-based leadership styles with more long-term mindset should be encouraged to develop emotional social intelligence through mindfulness practices, and that mindfulness practices such as meditation show a fairly promising ability to develop and evolve the necessary cognitive elements for emotional social intelligence, which appears to be a critical piece of the puzzle. But we do see that there's a lot of room for more analysis of leadership styles. There are conflicts in the literature about what styles even exist and don't exist, which are duplicative, which are missing, and then how do we actually categorize leaders accurately within those styles. And additionally, any sort of application of this theoretical framework to a case study on business leaders, coaching them, or looking historically at a coaching process. So those are the findings. I'd like to dedicate this paper and presentation to the Lenape people, who owned, or rather in the different sort of mindset, who lived and had their lives on the land on which the new school was built. Thank you so much for taking a look at this presentation, and I hope you'll get a chance to view the paper. Again, thank you to all the wonderful folks at Pi Gamma Mu and the International Social Science Review. Thank you.